Okay, so let's start now. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself Jyoti, and this is my second session. Uh, okay, so my today's session is about HTML5 Web Storage and how it can be used instead of cookies. Okay, now actually this heading is a bit misleading. Means you might got a feeling that this session will explain how web storage is better than cookies and how cookies can be replaced by web storage, right? Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we will know that later, and I will explain how web storage is different from cookies and how cookies is different from web storage. And okay, so all of you must have used cookies, right? Okay, so let me start with. Okay, my this session will include some brief introduction of cookies. Then we will discuss on how cookies work, the limitation of cookies. Then some brief introduction about web storage. Then web storage strengths and weaknesses, and web storage APIs. Web storage events. Then we will know what are the browsers that support web storage, and with some demos. Okay, so all of you know cookie is just a piece of information which usually stores at client end, right? So we can write this cookie via a server, right? Server can write a cookie to client machine, as well as we can write cookies using some client end scripting language like JavaScript, right? Okay, so why we are using cookies? Okay, usually we have used cookies to track some of the user preferences, right? Let's say user has done some preference changes to a particular website, then that website wants to read that preference and provide that preference to that particular user, right? Then those websites, what they usually do is they used to store those preferences in the client side itself for that particular client as cookies, and they can read those cookies from whenever the user comes next time. They used to read those cookies and set up the user preferences accordingly. Also, we can track login status, usually remember me functionalities. Those functionalities require cookies, right? We have used cookies to have those remember me functionalities, or we can track the last logged in timestamp, let's say, and provide that information to the user. We can track past pages viewed by the user, right? And we can track advertisements, as well as we can let's say we are in a shopping cart. Then shopping cart also can use cookies to store my recent activities, right? Usually those shopping carts do like that. They whatever item I search or go to detail, let's say for a particular item, then those items are added somehow. I can see those items in a list just below somewhere. So usually they used to store those information in cookies, and they displayed that you have visited these items. Okay, so that is how we have used cookies. Now let's check how cookies work. Okay, so to write a cookie to user machine, usually server send request, right? From server side we send some request that they want to write some cookies. Then if user side user end, the client end support the cookies, and if client end allows, then server will be able to write those cookies to client machine somewhere. And browser stores them as some text record. The cookies are stored as some text records only, and and those cookies are available for that specific domain, right? Or a specific path of that domain, if that is defined while defining that cookie, and that website, the same domain, can access that cookie on successive visits, right? So let's say a cookie is already written to the user machine, and for the same domain I visit another page, or maybe the same page. When I request for the same page, cookies are getting sent to the server from client end, right? So that the server can read those cookies. So that is how cookies work. Means whatever cookies are there, cookies are stored at client end, right? But server can read those things. That means from client end we need to send the cookie information as well. Whenever we are requesting for some server pages, we need to send those cookies so that server can read those cookies. So this is how the cookies work. Now, limitation of cookies. So first limitation is the data capacity. Means the cookies, most of the browsers, they allow 4 KB of data per cookie, and there is a limitation, means number of limitations for a particular domain. Means a domain can store around that based on the browser. Some browsers allow 300, some browsers 180. Safari, I guess, around 600 cookies per domain, and each cookie can store maximum of 4 KB of data. So that is the data limitation. And another limitation of cookies, which I have just discussed, means cookies need to be sent to the server. Means even if those cookies are not required for that particular page, but cookies are sent. Whatever cookies are there available for that specific domain, those cookies are sent to the server so that server can read those cookies. So that is override, means unnecessary data are getting transferred from client end to the server end. And also cookies are always a concern for the privacy and security issues, right? Usually through cookies, websites want to fetch our activities like our browsing activity mostly. And also we usually don't store any sensitive information like credentials or passwords in cookies, right? Since they are not secure. So these are some of the limitations of the cookies. Now, web storage. So HTML5 has introduced another client-side storage option, which is called web storage. So it can be used as an alternative to cookies, but right now it is difficult to say that it will replace cookies, because cookie has some advantage over this web storage as well, HTML5 Web Storage. So it cannot replace cookie totally. Okay, so this local storage comes in there are 2 types of local storage. One is, this web storage is of 2 types. One is local storage and another is session storage. So usually this local storage and session storage both comes as key value pair. Key value pair means each record will consist of a key and its associated value. And for local storage, it exists. There is no expiry date for local storage. It expires or it gets deleted only when you you clear all your browser cache, or you remove it manually, or you remove it programmatically. It doesn't come with an expiry date. It will remain in your system forever if you don't delete it or remove it. So, and session storage comes with key value pair as well, and the session storage exists only for that particular user session. Means whenever the browser window is closed, the session storage will be destroyed for that particular domain. Or if a tab is closed, actually this session storage, usually sessions are same for different tabs, right? But in session storage, for different tabs, the session storage is different. So for a particular tab, if that particular tab is closed, then all the session storage for that tab will be destroyed. So this is the brief introduction on HTML5 Web Stories. Now, its strength. Okay, so HTML5 Web Stories comes with simple APIs, JavaScript APIs, which we as developers can use easily and achieve more than cookies, more than what we can achieve through cookies. And okay, the storage is differs from browser to browser, means the amount of data which we can store in web storage, usually minimum of 5 to 10 MB. But it differs from browser to browser. And these local storages are not getting transferred to the server. Means server can't control this local storage. Server can't read this local storage automatically. This local storage is only used for the client-side activity. Only through client-side scripts we can control this local storage. Also, we are having a storage event associated with this web storage, and this provides us some additional strength, which I will explain it later. And also, of course, this local storage doesn't come with any expiration date. And some of the weaknesses, okay, again, this is stored as a simple string. We cannot define any data type for this local storage, like integer or an object or Boolean, something like that. It will store data only as a string or text. Okay, so also it can store more data than a cookie, but the limitation is there. Means that depends on browser, 5 to 10 MB. Some browser up to 100 MB. But that depends on, again, user settings. And also it can be disabled by the user or by the system administrator, so you cannot rely on this local storage always. As in case of cookies also. Cookies cannot be relied always. And also storage can be slow with complex data set. If we store more data, since these data are not getting indexed like your any SQL data. So if you store more data, then it will be difficult for searching. There is no indexing here, so it will take time for searching and sorting. So these are some of the limitations of web storage. Okay, now let's check with what are the APIs which we can use in this web storage. So set item, get item, remove item, clear, key, and length. Set item, we need to provide the parameter key and value to insert a item to the local storage. And get item, to fetch the value through a particular key. We need to provide the key value to retrieve its value. Now remove item, again it will take the key value as parameter and it will remove that element from local storage. Clear will remove all the data from the local storage for that particular domain. Then Okay, if we want to retrieve the key value of a particular index, then whatever index we will provide, we will retrieve the, we will know it will return local storage dot key, then index value will return that key value. Then local storage dot length will provide us the total length of that local storage, means how many elements are stored in that local storage. And this is some of the syntax, like session and session storage supports all these APIs. Only this local storage will be replaced with session storage. Okay, set item, then key value, then we can fetch its value, get item, the key name. It will return my value. So let me show you some demo how local storage and session storage are getting stored. So let's start with session storage. So here I have written some JavaScript, some exception handling, then okay, I'm checking if this browser is supporting session storage. Now if it supports, then session storage. Actually, this is one application which will track, which will show you how many times you have visited that particular page, let's say. Now what it does, it checks if the session storage having key visits exist. If it exists, then increment it, else initialize it to 1. So yeah. So let me run this. Okay, so I have already visited 23 times. Let me refresh it, 24, refresh it, 25. So let me show you how you can view this session storage. Actually, this is Chrome, and in developer tool, in resource section, you can have this session storage for a particular domain. So there is only one item stored here, visits, and the key value is visits, and the value is 25. Now let me go to another tab. You can see here the session value is 14, 15. Now let me go to the developer tool, session storage. So here the value for the key visits is 15. So it can have it will only exist for that particular tab or window. When the window will be closed or that particular tab will be closed, the session storage will be lost, whatever session storage will be there. So now let me open the local storage. Okay, now what I'm doing is I will fill up the form data, and this form data will be stored in the local storage, so that whenever I will visit this particular page, it will read those data from the local storage and display it. Now let me go to the developer tool, and okay, from in developer tool in Chrome, you can, in resource section, you can have this local storage as well. So for that particular domain, whatever local storage available will be displayed here. You can view from here as well. So let me store something. Okay, if you want to see the code, let me open it for local storage. So what I am doing is on change of the field, any of the field, it is calling this function ChangeField. Now what ChangeField is doing, it is first checking for the exception if local storage is supported by this browser. If it is supported, then it will have the key value as formfield.id, whatever ID I've given to that particular field, and the value will be whatever value is there for that particular field. Now it will try to set that key value, means the ID of that field, and the value, whatever value I have entered to that field. Now let me store something like name, let's say Jyoti, okay, last name, now email as well as telephone number. So you can see all these values are getting stored in this local storage in key value pair. Now let me open this in another tab. Also in my program I have written that if value exists, then those values will be automatically set in that particular field. So let me run it. Okay, the values are automatically set to that particular field from the local storage. If I will check the local storage for this particular tab, then you can see the local storage exists. Now let me update something here. I have updated my name. Okay, so in this tab it got reflected. Now let me go to this tab. You can see the value got changed. Okay, I can refresh this page so that the value will be displayed here. Okay, now, okay, even if I will open it in a new window, it can be able to fetch the same local storage. The value will remain same for that particular domain. Okay, so it works just like your cookie. It works just like your cookie, except I can store more data than cookie, as well as these values are not getting transferred to the server. From server side, I cannot control these values. I cannot do anything from these values. So now let me go to my next section. Okay, let me open some cookie value.
Can we store an object to a key value?
Yeah, no, not usually we don't store an object.
We have to store address, and address has 3 copies.
Yeah.
Can we store it in a object?
Yeah. You can convert serialize, deserialize.
Yeah.
So you can convert it in a JSON string, let's say, and you can store it as value of a particular key, let's say address. Actually, that is the better way to store the value. Yeah. And usually it will be easier to do a search inside a JSON, instead of this doing a search with different key value pairs. So that is a better way, better approach to store data object inside local storage. Okay, now let me, okay, if you can see, let me open the local storage. Okay, let me refresh it. Okay, if you check the headers, okay, usually those cookies are getting sent to the server on each server request, but these local storage values are not getting stored, sorry, not getting transferred to the server. So server cannot access directly to these local storage values. Now let me open a cookie value. Okay, So let me go to developer tool. So for cookie, what I have done is I have written this code in PHP. I've just created one cookie, name, user, value, any value, and I have provided some expiry time, deadline time, and I'm checking if any cookie exists, and I'm printing those cookies. And also in the same page, I have written a function in JavaScript to create any cookie by passing the parameter cookie name, value, and expired days. After how many days the cookie value will expire. And I have created one cookie called JS cookie name and some JS cookie as name, then value, then let's say after it will exist for 1 day. Now let me run this page. Okay, the output is blank. Now this page created as per the code. You can see it created the cookie by using setCookie from from PHP as well as from JavaScript using this function, and but it is not able to read those cookies at the same time, because those cookie information are not sent again to the server, right? Server sent request to create cookies. Let me show that to you as well. Okay, request header. So you can see from response header server, from the server, the server requested to set the cookie having name, user, and its value, and with some expiry date and time. But in the request header from the browser, there is no cookie information. There is no cookie information sent. That's why server couldn't able to read those cookies. We have created 2 cookies, but from server side, the access is not till now. Now let me refresh it again. Okay, now server can read 2 cookies. Now let me check the headers. You can see since 2 cookies exist, so okay, you can see the from the header request, all the cookies are getting sent to the server while requesting from the client side. So that and that's why the server side able to read those cookies. So you can say this is one of the strength of cookies, so that server can control cookies as well. And also one weakness, you can say one weakness, so that on each request the cookies will get sent to the server even if they are not required. So now let me move to the next section. Okay, so these are the APIs. Okay, I've used set item and get item. Now in the same way I can use remove item for a particular key, clear to remove all the local storage or session storage. Then I can fetch a particular key. Then also I can fetch the length and loop through all the data available in local storage or session storage. But there is no such API exist in case of cookies. Also, one of the interesting feature of this web storage is the storage event. Now there is no event supported by cookies, I guess. There is no direct way to provide or to check for an event whenever a cookie gets created or whenever a cookie gets edited, let's say. There is no event fired. But in case of storage, local storage, there is an event called storage. So whenever there is a change in whenever one data in the local storage gets changed or gets created, one storage event got fired in all other tabs or browsers wherever that application is running. So let me show that to you. Okay, so in the same page I have added a event listener called storage, and whenever this event will get fired, what it will do is it will log the key value of that item which was changed from its old value to the new value. Means it will log the key value of that item and the old value and the new value. So let me show you. Okay, let me go to console. Okay, let me open this. Okay, I have already opened this page in a separate window as well. Okay, let me change something from okay, I've removed this. Let's say I've removed this first name. Now the event, okay, if I will go to this second tab, you can see the log value comes as the value for first name was changed from Jyotirmaya to null, and as well as the same you will find in other window. Yeah. No, in the same window that event will not get fired. That event will get fired whenever the value will get changed in another tab or in some another window, wherever the same application is opened. Okay, because let's say you want to control the data, means if something got changed, you want some activities or some refresh activity, let's say, in the other tabs wherever the application is opened. Okay, in the same tab or same window, you can do that activity, right? On change or whatever, the control is there. But to control the other tabs or other window, this event can be used, storage event. Okay, so you can see in other window also it is come like the log value comes, means the event got fired. Now let me refresh it. Now let me change the first name to Mike, last name to Baron. Okay, in the same window there won't be any event fired. Now let me move to the other window. So you can see the event get fired, the value of first name was changed from null to Mike, and the last name is changed from Dehury to Baron. So this will provide some additional strength to the developer so that it can develop applications which will sync automatically in different tabs or different windows if it is opened.
It will change only for that computer or for multiple computers?
No, it is in the local end. The data will remain in the local end. So this event will fired only in the local end, in the client side.
Same browser?
No, even, yeah, same browser. Same browser. Yeah, no, if browser will differ, then local storage will differ. Yeah. Okay, so this is web storage event. So this is additional, some of the strength of this web storage, which is not there, you will not find in cookies. Okay, as far as the browser support, most of the browser supports this web storage functionality. And for IE, it will support from IE 8. So that's all for this session. Now, if you have any
Which you said 5 to 10 MB, it is complete storage or domain specific?
domain specific,
For
5
per
to,
domain 5 MB and 5
yeah,
to 10 MB.
yeah, per, no, yeah, per domain it is 5 to 10 MB, yeah, minimum.
Okay.
I think this setting is providing by the browser. You can
Yeah, from browser you can change. Actually, it is more than this 5 or 10 MB actually, and that depends on your settings. That differs from client to client. Any other questions, queries? Yeah. 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 No, no. In that case, I guess the see two application.
no, it cannot because
Yeah, two application will have same domain name. In that case, the two application, let's say PHP and .NET, both need to have the same domain name, right? But port number will be different, I guess. In that case. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, cookies actually, the server will different, right? .NET and PHP and yeah, machine will be same, but server will be different because PHP, IIS, okay, yeah, as well as .NET, but I don't think they can access the same cookie. Not sure, I'm not sure. Need to check. But since the both are different applications, technology is different, but browser should send the same header. Since it is defined for that, if the cookie is defined for that same domain, then I think it should be able to access that.
as long as URL is same, exactly same,
Yeah,
it will access.
yeah. And also while defining a cookie, we can define the domain name as well, right? Means to which domain the cookie can be fetched. So I think in that case, it should allow.
If domain name is same, then it will allow, but if you are using PHP and ASP, then domain name will be different.
Yeah, mostly different, but some of the application can run on the same server.
Same server.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is possible. Means one server having different technology. Yeah, that is also actually a good question. Yeah. Yeah. Means same domain. Yeah, if domain name is same. Okay, if it is iframe, then it cannot access it. If it is iframe, then it cannot access it because iframe will have a different domain name. Same domain. Okay. Okay. If same domain, it might be, but if different domain, even if it is in the same window, it cannot access if the domain name is differs. Yeah. Any other question?
In PHP and ASP, the URL default, so if
Yeah.
URL default, then should not.
Hmm. Okay. So we are done. Thank you.